This art is by Matt Dixon. Pretty good art. Hello, Dario. How are you doing? Chilling. Yep, me too. Let's see, what's the most broken thing you can do with this? Macathon? Oh no. Okay, I think I'm back. Okay, I think I'm good. Oh man, this card is so busted with Mechathon. That blood dude as well. Hot card. Oh, and also the okay. What if it's like 5 mana? It dies when played and adds a copy to your hand. I mean, this is basically 5 mana, trigger the random death rattle of a minion in your hand, right? At this point, so you get to choose. I don't think it's really that warlocky. I think this flavor of death rattle is suited to warlock. Minions that cost 5 or less. I think at 5 mana it's not that broken. The rogue doesn't really kill their own stuff. I mean, that's true. It's kind of flavorful though. The flavor is not like sacrifice, which is like the warlock brand of self-destruction. What's up, Stather? Welcome. Yeah, I didn't stream yesterday. I was completely busy the whole day. I had no time. By the way, if anyone didn't check out the article that James Law wrote for Eurogamer, I'll post a link in the chat. It's pretty cool. Me and Cool Boy Pie are featured in it, so I'm a bit biased, but alright, I'm gonna go with this. It's flawed, but yeah. Yeah, I'm famous. Okay, so according to my statistics, we have not been making enough big minions. What the heck is this card? Oh god, this card is so confusing. It's interesting though. Oh cool, a top-down card? We can do that. Oh, I like that art. Yeah, alright, we'll do that because I don't have an idea in my head right now. Other than we need to make big minions. This art is, it's official Warcraft art by Mauro Cascioli. I always tell you guys the artist and stuff like that before I actually put the art in. Okay, there we go. So this is definitely a spell to me, yeah. Oh yeah, I was also thinking warrior, maybe not instead of warlock, but. So there's this. Also, I think it would just be cool if it was just 10 mana, summon all dragons from your hand. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, summoning dragons. This is literally just Deathwing Dragonlord's effect on a death rattle, but as a spell, obviously, so. But you get it immediately. I feel like this is balanced and very cool. I feel like players would like this. Yep. And Voon, yes, definitely Voon synergy. Oh hey, what's up, Theodore? You're currently creating a card set called Mech Uprising. Oh, Mech's going to war against the creators. That sounds interesting. It sounds like a neat concept. Okay, so this should definitely be a Rumble card. What if it's called Voon's Day? That's dumb, isn't it? Like, the art has nothing to do with Voon. Yeah, definitely. Definitely looking forward to it. Sounds cool. Blazing Entrance. Yeah, I kind of like that. I think Voon's Day is too dumb. We can maybe try something a bit better though, so. Cataclysm was like Deathwing's thing, right? Was there another name for the Cataclysm event? Oh, they enter the arena. Oh yeah, it should probably be like more Rumble flavored. You're right, you're right. So them entering the arena. How about just like open the gates? I think that makes the arena flavor very clear. And there was one to Dragon Hero Power in Blackrock Mountain that had the same name. Blazing Entrance, the Rumble thingy? What do you mean by that? I feel like Blazing Entrance or Open the Gates both work fine. Open the gates, like with DA. Open the gates. Maybe not. is a joke, yeah. I mean, it works for Rumble. I think I'm gonna go with open the gates. No, you're good. I like that name, like, just a little bit less than I like open the gates. Both are fine, I think. They both convey pretty much the same flavor. Okay, I had an idea for a priest card. Yeah, big minion. I was gonna do that after this priest spell that I thought of while making Blazing Entrance, but a big minion after that probably. My idea for a priest spell was summon a random minion from your hand, deck, and that died this game. Probably needs to be worded different. Summon a random minion that died this game. Okay, never mind. Never mind about my pre-spell. Raw stats and keyword negative effect. I have no idea. It's probably going to be a common neutral, just like Burly Shovel Fist, something like that. But not Burly Shovel Fist or Bulldozer. This sounds kind of wacky, but like, what if it's an 8/8/8 with your battle cries triggered twice? This is probably too weird. But like, the usefulness of having the brand effect on a small body is like the whole point. So since it would be dangerous to bring the brand effect back in neutral. Oh, I like that concept a lot. Wind Fear can't attack the same character twice. Or what about just unlimited attacks each turn? Unlimited attacks can't attack the same character twice in a turn. That would be like an epic in my opinion, kind of like a Batterhead basically. But I think that's cool. So Batterhead was after this attacks and kills a minion, it may attack again. That was an 8 mana 3/12. So this would have to be like maybe like a 10 mana 8/8 might work. Yeah, it's definitely like a Batterhead on steroids. Fool's Bane is worded unlimited attacks each turn, but I think putting each turn here might be unnecessary. 520. Okay, so my only thought with that is that, like, now it feels like we're copying Batterhead a bit too much. I do like the idea of just, like, pushing it to the limit, though. I mean, I wouldn't worry too much about Inner Fire. Like, would you rather play a 10 mana do nothing with 20 health, or like just play a lower health minion and then just Divine Spirit it twice? I think they would much rather do that. Also, what do you think about instead of can't attack the same character twice, what about can only attack each character once per turn? It's the same effect, just differently worded. Okay, so let's give him 24 stats. So how can we divvy up 24 stats? 6, 18, 8, 16 maybe? Okay, maybe that's too broken. Actually, I don't know. Okay, it's like it's a strong arena card. Maybe he really should just be like a 10/10. Now for a cool art, I guess. Oh, am I dropping frames? I probably am. It said I've dropped a couple frames. And by a couple, I mean 200. I don't know, what do you guys think about this art? It's pretty good, but it doesn't fit in frame super well. It's by Paul Maffion. Art is the problem a lot of times. Yeah, I mean, I don't worry about it too much because, like, I mean, like, how Blizzard does things is they don't look for art online. They basically write what's called an art description. So when they want to, if they want to use an art, if they can imagine it in their head and write it down into a paragraph, then they'll just commission an artist or hire an artist and they'll make that art piece basically. So obviously we don't have that luxury, so I usually am not too picky with art. What about this giant fairy dragon by Katie Fortune? There's also this art by Jason Felix. I feel like this might be better to make it a mech. Hulking Scythe. I'm not feeling this art. Alright, I'm gonna find something good. I promise. I'm looking through my art folder. I almost feel like it should be something related to, like, elementals, basically. I mean, this is a dragon, obviously, but it has to do with storms. Could be a lot of things. You didn't miss anything. Still just ironing out flavor for this card right now. think I'm gonna go with the elemental. I found a good storm. Elemental art. Alright, how about that? Oh, you have a mech art that might work? Feel free to post it if you want. What is what is the synonym of static, like static electricity? What about static dynamo? Yeah, I'll wait for you to post the art and see if it's better for a mech flavor. But I think either storm or like some sort of clockwork mech as a flavor could work well for this. Oh yeah, I like that art. I believe this is Konstantin Turovec art. My only complaint is that he's like, I think this would ideally be a magnetic minion, but we can go with this art and put it in BDP because I like the art a lot. And we can make it a general Grievous reference, so we'll call it like Grievous Grinder. Cool, I like this art. I like this flavor. Alright, what if we take the concept of a well-known minion and reverse it, like a BGH that destroys a minion with 7 or more health instead of attack? So I think that's a good idea to start a card with. I don't like the BGH example a ton because I feel like a minion that would destroy like with lots of health, it just feels like the same card as BGH in a lot of scenarios. But I think we can work around that. Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting enough. I think it's just like, it ends up being the same card a lot of times. So I'm thinking, okay, this is kind of weird. I know we just got forbidden cards, but I like the spend all your mana mechanic. So what if it's a card that says Battle Cry? Okay, never mind about the spend all your mana, because I'm not going to incorporate it into this card, so pretend like you didn't hear it. But a 4-mana 3/3 priest card that says Battle Cry, swap a minion's stats, deal 3 damage to it. So it actually acts like a Shadowward Pain. Why is it terrible, Durio? It's not swap stats with a minion, but swap a minion stat, so the health and attack are swapped. I don't know if that's how the wording is. What does Kooky Chemist have? Oh, it says attack and health. Confused says attack and health. Void Ripper says attack and health. Topsy Turvy says attack and health. Okay, so it should be attack and health. Swap a minion's attack and health. Yeah, I think the then helps clarify a bit. A hero card. I think I remember that one. It was like 2 mana, right? It was really cheap. Yeah, switch attack and health, yeah. I think this is balanced. We can make it a common. Yeah, 3 mana. Just posted the Heroes of Dalaran competition, so that should be fun. Yeah, I mean it's just the Heroes of Dalaran, the one that you suggested, I think, right? Yeah, I was thinking about Voodoo, because that's what either that or Alchemy, because Kooky Chemist and Crazed Alchemist are both Alchemy flavored. And then Vol'jin is troll flavored, so I have good Rumble art for it, but we're not gonna make it a Rumble card because I don't know why I don't like Rumble. It's probably my least favorite expansion, but I always make Rumble cards for it. And the art doesn't register? What do you mean? I think this card is called the Necro Doctor, so I think Necro Doctor is a good name. I don't want to just steal the name, but let's see what it's. Let's see the full name of the card in Rastakan's Rumble. It's called the Vile Necrodoctor. Yeah. I mean that's the point. Is that he's a vile Necrodoctor. I don't know. We'll find a different name though. Oh, poor art quality. Oh, gotcha. Oh, you have an art suggestion? Let's see. Oh, this one's alright. I've seen it before. I think I'm just gonna go with this art. This art is by Dave Alsop. It's Rastakan's Rumble art, like I said. Yeah, Razor is on a roll. I think he's probably got the most wins out of anyone. my stream die? It's telling me on YouTube that. Oh. Okay. He has 8 wins now. Okay, well I don't. YouTube just told me my stream died. I don't know what that's all about. Okay, what's a synonym for manipulative? Shrewd. Shrewd flair. That's such a gross name to say. Vile something, that's the name of the necrosurgeon. That's interesting. What about mortician? Something mortician. Isn't that like a person who pronounces another person dead? Vile mortician. Yeah, right, I think I'm good. I'm gonna go for that. Vile mortician. Alright, I'm gonna go for 2 cards. Preventative. I feel like he's... I was almost thinking the opposite of preventative. Like, he wants people to die, basically. Okay, I had an idea for a 0 mana priest common spell. This is not the most modern ring. The most modern ring is your healing effects. Give a minion your healing effects deal damage instead. Shadow Teachings. Yeah, that should be good. Typing speed? Is it fast? It's also probably slightly exaggerated because of my keyboard, but I mean, I think I'm pretty fast typing. Oh, I made a typo. Oh, shoot. I didn't copy it properly. I like Shadow Teachings. It's very simplistic. Not in a bad way, just in a good way. Oh boy, do I have just the perfect art. And by perfect, I mean you could really go with any shadow related art. Should be in italics? Wait, should be in star? What do you mean, Dario? I might skip the Rager prompt just because I pretty recently did a Rager and it was like my least favorite card that we made on stream. Not my least favorite. It's in the bottom 5 though. I can show you, or it'll pop up. It's a Master of Ceremonies, which is a name I need to change because that's a name used already from the Grand Tournament. But it was a 4 mana 1/5 that summons a 5/1. Dario, what did you mean by should be in star? 5/1 taunt. I mean, I like that idea. 3 mana 5/1 taunt. I'm sure Blizzard will print it one day. Oh, gotcha. In double line things. Oh, quotation. I don't think so. I think it's what's the 2-mana paladin spell that like resummons? Ancestral Spirit. Oh, it is in double quotes actually. Oh, and Desperate Stand is in double quotes. Okay, you're right. You're right. Yeah, it is quotations. All right, cool. Let me just get the art source for this card real quick. Oh, it's from RR. It's actually just a, like, it's by Zoltan Boros. It's just an RR art that is, like, hue shifted. But it looks good. I didn't even notice. Usually you can tell when someone hue shifts an art. Okay, I'm going to type a card idea real quick, and I'll be back in, like, 2 minutes, but it's gonna be, like, a 5-mana 5/5 legendary that says your minions cost... This is probably so broken. Your minions cost as much as their attack. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I think this card needs to be a lot more expensive. I am off doing a line of Arcane Dust. That's exactly true. I'm taking a look at this Google Doc. I'll take a look at the links later. But, okay, this is a risky card, so I'm gonna make it like an 8/3, an 8/4/12 or something. Maybe like a dragon. I mean, actually, maybe it's not that bad because like Aviana was a 9-mana 5/5 and was only broken in one very specific combo. So maybe like an 8/4/12 is fine. Is an 8/4/12 broken? Just stat line wise? No, that's an 8/8/8. I think the 8/4/12 is totally fine. You can drop a couple 0 attack minions. Drag on. What's that Cyanagos? Can we use him? Cyanagos? Or if anyone has any other dragons that they know of. Otherwise, I'm just gonna pick a random. What is this? What is this dragon guy called? I'm trying to think of the name. Am I hallucinating? I guess I am. I can't believe they named it Queen Tag Wag Toggle. It's like the worst name. Oh, Cyane. Cyane. Yeah, okay. I figured there was something called that. Okay, the dragon aspects. Nosdormu, Malygos, Alexstrasza, Kalekos, Ysera, Deathwing. We already have all those. Nosdormu. I already said that. Okay, other notable dragons. Azurgos, Arygos, Celestraz, Chronormu, Galakrond. Probably Galakrond, right? Or Saffron? I mean, I guess I don't really know. It could just be any of these. There's not really great art of Galakrond, so I probably won't go with Galakrond. What about Anachronos? The 212 Moshog Enforcer, right? I mean, I feel like they'll probably just hard removal this anyway. Okay, this art is by Bayard Wu, and it is, I'm almost certain it's Alexstrasza, but it's insanely cool art. So I think we're going to go with it and call it Celestraz. That's a red dragon. It's Alexstrasza's son. Could be a lot of different expansions, so I'll just make it classic. Yeah, I really like this card. I think it's very cool. You were going through your art files and found one of my old card concepts that had the concept of multiple faces / masks. Wonder if you could create a card like that. Sure. I kind of want to work through Stather's idea of the can only take 1 damage thing, but then we'll do that after. So Stather, here's what I think about that. I think it's a cool idea. I don't like how it's a bit floaty. I mean, I think it's fine. It's just kind of like a different ice block though. So here's what I think. I was thinking maybe a neutral card that says stealth. After your hero takes damage, reduce it to 1 and lose stealth. For 4 minute 2/6. So yeah, this is like get down. Whoa, when a character takes lethal damage, this minion takes that instead. Whoa, that's very cool. Do you mind if I... Wait, okay, I kind of want to make both. But they would both be very similar cards, because I think I still want to have that effect be stealth, but I still like this card. Maybe we'll just make both and they'll just be similar. Also, I'll probably make it friendly character. I like that Spell Ward Jeweler card. Oh, you created it today? Okay, okay. Then I won't make that card then, because you obviously just created it today. Alright, that makes me feel better. Then we can just make this card. Yeah, I think friendly minion is best for that card, or friendly character, something like that. I'm looking for art. I want to do a concept a bit similar to animated armor. Okay, this is a bit different, but it'll be a Tortolon. Tortolon Moat Lurker. This art is by... Oh, it's Smite official art, unfortunately. Which means it's going to be very hard to find the source for. But it's art for the Smite god called Kuzenbo. You created a paladin one. Yeah, I think the animated armor effect is pretty cool. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Whoa. Okay. Alright, looks like we're going with Tortolon Swamp Lurker. I actually hit enter and it created the card even though I was about to change it to Mire Lurker. Okay, well that's fine. I don't know if you guys can hear me right now, but the stream keeps dying for some reason. What's up? Okay, cool. Alright, I was thinking about a legendary card called, or I don't know what it's called, but it has stealth, and it says immune while stealthed. Otherwise, your hero has immune. Or we can remove the first clause, so while not in stealth, your hero has immune. Stealth should not be neutral. Why not? Rogue flavored? Really? What makes you say that? Just the flavor? Thanks for the wording clarification, Stather. Royal Protector. Yeah, I'm thinking of probably a Warcraft character. I'm not sure how I feel about Vanessa Van Cleef. I feel like it's been done before. Oh, okay. I feel like some notable mage would work. Yeah, of an expansion just of Vanessa Van Cleef cards. Something like that, but maybe a bit different art. Alright, what are some notable mages? List of mages. Oh wow, it's just a full list. Okay, hold on. That's not exactly what I wanted. Okay, notable mages. Aegwynn Antonitis, Aethys Sunreaver, Ansarum Runeweaver, Modera Vargoth, Jaina Proudmoore, Illidan Stormrage, Kel'Thuzad, Khadgar, Medivh, Magister Umbric. Oh, maybe we'll do Magister Umbric, because I think there's good art of him. And I feel like this effect fits, because he's also a Void Elf. Okay. Shoutouts to Grand for using this art for a card called Magister Umbric first, because I'm stealing the name and art combo from you. This art is by Esther Smisdom. Esther Smisdom. And I guess to not make it, I guess 6 mana 3/7 is probably good. It's got the same stats as Stranglethorn Tiger, but in a bit better distribution, and it costs 1 more because obviously it has an upside. Okay, I like this. This is like what Harbinger Celestia should have been. Okay. I made a card with this art once. I kind of just want to make a smaller crushing wall, so deal 3 damage to... Is it? I'm not sure. Side swipe. It's basically a shot spell that isn't a shot spell. Most of the shot spells have some like adjacent placement interactions. Crushing Walls had the same thing but wasn't shot flavored, so this is basically the same thing. It just is not shot flavored. 100% not used. Cool. You're good. This art is by Steve Ellis on the card Essence of Rage for the Warcraft TCG. I mean, compared to Power Shot, which is at best 6 damage, this is at best 6 damage. Thanks for stopping by, Stether. See you later. I think this card is fair. Spellhunter is in a good place right now anyway, so this is probably a reasonable addition. Don't want to push it too far. Alright, cool. So that'll be 9, so we'll do one more and then move on to the card review. Maybe we'll do a top down to finish it off. I've got some cool arts. Kind of like this guy. Wee Basher. What about can't take exactly 1 damage? So you have to deal 2 damage to it, basically. Could be a 2-1. I mean, actually, at a 2-1, it's basically 1 mana 2-2, right? Maybe that's fine, though. It is like, fuck you, mage, but also mage and druid and rogue, their hero powers are always able to shut down early game minions very strongly, so maybe this is a necessary addition to the game. Started by Paul Mafayan. Maybe we just put it in a class. Give it to warrior. That sounds better. And then it's got some minor whirlwind synergy, I guess. Alright, I'm good with that. It's a cute enough card. Alright, cool. So we'll move on to the, or I guess I'll run through the cards we made today real quick, as I usually do, and then we'll move on to the review. So we started off with Dead on Arrival, which was originally 2 mana but didn't add a copy to your hand, but it was broken with Mechathune and a variety of other cards, so now we have just this version, which is basically 5 mana, choose a death rattle in your hand to trigger, which is probably weak, but Rogue still has prep, of course, and they have a little bit of death rattle synergy here and there. Open the Gates is a top-down card. Fits with the Rastakhan's Rumbles theme of dragons for warrior, especially works well with Voon and Dragonroar, and is basically just Deathwing's Dragon Lord's effect, but you get it immediately instead of having to wait. Grievous Grinder has unlimited attacks each turn, but can't attack the same character twice. So it's basically just like a bigger Batterhead, which Batterhead was a pretty cool card, and so was that Sandworm card, so I think this is just like the next step. And unlimited attacks each turn is always fun to read on a minion, even though there's quite the downside. Vile Mortician. Swap a minion's attack and health, and deal 3 damage to it. Just a simple kind of swap minion for Priest that deals damage, so it effectively also acts as a Shadowward Pain. I think the card is quite strong, but it doesn't work as well in spell decks as Shadowward Pain does, so that's the downside. The art you tried to create. Oh, the Masks card. I totally forgot to make a Masks card. Sorry about that. If you show up the next stream, I'll certainly make the Masks card. I just totally forgot about that. Shadow Teachings is really simple. It just gives a minion Alkanize effect. Can be used as a like on your own as an Alkanize effect, or as like a really niche tech against enemies. So Sail Straws, your minions cost as much as their attack, so it's a really unique deck building card. Almost like Meat Wagon in a sense, definitely a bit different. Very expensive because it's a pretty risky effect, but I think this is a cool sweet spot for it that makes it kind of like a more restrictive Aviana. Tortolan Swamp Lurker has stealth, and after your hero takes damage, reduce it to 1 and lose stealth. So it's an animated armor, but it's also a pretty useful neutral defensive tool, and I think it's interesting because we were able to create a defensive card that has stealth without necessarily saying taunt, and so that's why I think Tortolan Swamp Lurker is a good flavor. Magister Umbric was inspired by that card. It's a 6 mana 3/7 stealth. While not stealth, your hero is immune. So you have to get it out of stealth to get this benefit, of course, but it's a pretty big benefit. We saw it last on Mal'Ganis. It's definitely a little bit of a risky mechanic, but there's no perma-stealth anymore, so this is really not risky and neutral. Sideswipe is a smaller version of Hunter's Crushing Walls. Deals the same amount of damage as what's it called? Power Shot, which was a not super great card. Can work as a 3-mana fireball on an enemy minion. Definitely fits into Spell Priest. So, and then Weed Basher is just a common that can't take exactly 1 damage. I think it works well on Warrior because they have some self-damage effects. So this kind of dodges your whirlwinds. But other than that, it's just kind of like a 1-mana 2/2. Cool. And I'll just get the card review stuff set up real quick. Alright, cool. I'll be right back again in about 1 minute. Alright, I'm back. Thanks for coming, Dario. Okay, Bloodshot. Deal 3 mana, deal 1 damage for each minion that died this turn. So I think I'm gonna give this a 3. Actually, I think I'll give it a 4. It definitely feels very potent. So I think it appeals to players a lot and fits with Warlock themes. For bounce, it's gonna be a 1 though, because this card is very hard to bounce. Pretty risky card. With stuff like Bloodbloom, you can get this to deal. This could be an OTK deck basically. It could be like deal 20 damage with just one of these or 2 of these. Probably not with one of these because you would have to actually deal the damage to your hero. So, but with Bloodbloom, this can get pretty crazy. And for flavor, I kind of want to give it a 2 because I think it's funny, like Bloodshot as in Bloodshot Eyes. Of course, this troll, or is this a troll? Whatever it is like creating this Bloodshot, and you deal damage equal to the amount of blood that was created this turn. So that's that. Okay. Design for Pilfergeist. I think this might be our first perfect card. So I think it gets a 5 stars for balance. I'm sorry, 5 star for design. I think it also gets a 3 star for flavor. Maybe 2 star. The name is just really good. The idea of like this ghostly gravekeeper that's digging up the enemy's territory is really good. It fits within Witchwood. It fits within Priest's class themes. It generates card advantage, but like oftentimes it's not cards that you necessarily want, especially if you play it early. It's not like a typical Res Priest card, but I think Res Priest doesn't need to be pigeonholed into the idea that you are just playing bad minions that damage themselves, or like Blade Master, Grizzly, stuff like that, and then resummon. I think you can have Res Priest be something where you just use the idea of Resurrection as a mechanical theme, and the deck can be built around it in any way. So I think this will be our first perfect card. I think it's an amazing card. I think there's a ton of ways to play it. Well, you play it kind of the same way each time, but it produces varied gameplay. It's about the most you could ask for from a rare. Okay, Devil's Advocate. Destroy a random friendly minion or a random enemy minion if it's your turn. So I'm going to give this card 3-star. I think the effect is cool. It's really hard to read, though. Like, Blizzard would probably never print this card because of just how complex it is. It's just very hard to read and understand, basically. For balance, it gets 2 stars. It gets 2 stars because I don't think the card will ever be playable because they'll usually just kill it. So you should get rewarded if they do leave it up. And for flavor, even though the name Devil's Advocate is somewhat like intricate or interesting, I think it's not that interesting. For Veteran Cartographer, we have Discover a minion with cost equal to your unspent mana crystals. Okay, so for flavor, I think this gets a 1. For balance, I think it gets a 2. And for design, I think it gets a 2 as well. It's just not that interesting. It feels very weird to use. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels like it's trying to be flexible, but I can't. I don't know. You have to like wait a long time to play it. I guess I'll give it a 3 because it is useful in a variety of decks and at a variety of times during the game. Moment Earth Fury discovers an overload spell. Both players cast it with random targets. I mean, the first thing that jumps to me about this card is that it's confusing whether both players get the overload effect, which is probably something that should be made pretty clear with the card. Also, a lot of times the symmetry just boils down to RNG, like Lightning Bolt. It's not really both players casting it, it's just casting the spell twice with random targets. So this is going to get a 2-star for me. For balance, it also restricts design space. For balance, it gets a 1 because it's just RNG card. And for flavor, it gets a 1 because it's just a legendary Tauren. Kunzin Cloud Rider. Okay, for flavor, I think I'm going to give it a 2. For balance, I'll give it a 2. I think it's pretty strong right now. And for design, I think I'm going to give it a 4. It works both in buffs and as just a neutral Tar Creeper type of effect. And the flavor is basically that you're knocking him off his cloud. I think it's pretty cool. Acolyte is just Acolyte of Pain's effect on a 1/1 minion. For balance, I'm going to give it a 2-star because it might be too weak. For flavor, I'm going to give it a 1-star because the name is just a pun. And for design, I'm either going to give it a 3 or 4-star. I think I'm going to give it a 4-star. It'd have to be play tested to see like how the card actually feels to play. But Test Subject was a reprinted card that was just a bit smaller, and that card was very cool. I think that like a lot of players enjoyed the card. Obviously, it had a pretty crazy combo with it, but it just generally like takes an existing card which is already interesting and just by bringing it to a class, it makes it more interesting. Obviously, Acolyte of Pain is neutral, and it sometimes is run in Priest, but this works really well with their core draw engine of Pyro, you know, Circle of Healing, Power Word Shield, all that. It works very well with it. So Bloodbound Axe. Whenever your hero takes damage, double it and draw a card. Okay, I'm gonna give this a 2-star. I think it's pretty hard to parse. You have to like decide when you're gonna swing and stuff like that. You don't want to attack minions really. You can get milled easily. It feels like even more crazy than the Cursed Blade, which was already a really crazy card. So for balance, I'm gonna give it a 1 because I think it's gonna be hard to strike a balance between like having a cool bonus effect that you get and taking double damage, which is an extremely bad effect. For flavor, it gets a 1. So for design, so someone complained that this card said damaged, even though Rogue's thing is undamaged. But I think ultimately it's fine. Returning a damaged minion to its owner's hand has a lot more intricate applications than returning an undamaged, because like most of the time you sap something that was already been on the board. So this is a discounted sap, but only if it's damaged. That means you can poke it with your hero power if you need to. Oh, or use it to like heal a friendly minion by returning it to your hand. So I think I like the versatility of this card. I think the flavor, I'm gonna give it a 2. The balance, I'm gonna give it a 2, and the design, it gets 4 stars. I think this is very cool. Brain in a jar. Okay, this flavor automatically gets a 1 because it's a dumb pun, but you know, he's a mind controller guy, so I think it's fair enough. For balance, I think it gets a 2 because I think it's balanceable, and for design, I think it gets a 4. I think it's a very cool effect. I think it's a balanced 5-mana mind control, as balanced as you can get. You can destroy Brain in a jar, of course, to get the minion returned, so I think it's cool. Maybe shouldn't be a mech, I don't know. That's just depends on what the official art would be if it were to be released in the game. Cheval's Patron battle card. Choose a minion. The next spell you cast on it gives you 2 mana a turn for a turn. Well, I didn't realize how similar these two cards are actually, but I'm gonna give it 3 stars. I don't like how floaty it is. I'm just gonna give it a 1-star flavor. And balance will be at best. It's like you're getting 1 mana bonus, which is really not that useful. So I'm gonna give it a 2 because I think it's balanceable. I just don't like how awkwardly worded the effect is and hard it is to track. So that's why it gets a 3, maybe even a 2. Voodoo Evildoer. I think I'm gonna give this a 4. I think it's pretty cool. It's basically a single target Baron Rivendare. For balance, it gets a 2 because it's definitely balanceable, and for flavor, it gets a 1. Marvel Mega Charge is a pretty crazy card. So it's basically like when aggro has decided they have enough mana to roll for the rest of the game, and you're rewarded with a 1-mana 3/3. So I think this gets a 4-star for design, a 1-star for balance, and a 1-star for flavor. So the flavor is, it's whatever. It doesn't really do anything interesting. The balance is really hard to balance because, like, if an aggro deck doesn't need the extra mana, then it's just a 1-mana 3/3, which is probably even weak, honestly, because you have to wait to play it. You can't play it on turn 1. So that's why this card is just really hard to balance. I think it's a really cool design, though. It's basically like an aggro deck saying, like, alright, like, I've gotten my mana that I need to. And Druid could also use it if they plan to ramp further, but it's like a risky card. I think in play, it's a very unfun, or just like useless card to play, like Harbinger Celestia. So that's maybe why I would knock it to 3 stars, but I think it's a cool effect. Ravenous Outlook gets a 2-star design. It's just very uninteresting. Has some weapon synergy though, so I'll give it a 3 actually. For balance, I think it gets a 2. I think it's balanceable, and for flavor, it gets a 1. All or Nothing Brawler. If you're holding 0 or 9 cards, destroy a minion. I'm gonna give this 4 stars. It feels arbitrary. My intent with the card is not. The flavor gets a 1, by the way, because I don't think All or Nothing makes enough sense to warrant the on-the-nose flavor, basically. The balance, I'm going to give it a 2. I almost think nowadays getting a full hand is easier than getting an empty hand, which is kind of crazy. And of course, you still have to like pay the 3 mana for this, so like Quick Shot was 2 mana, and that made it good, but Core Hound was, what, 4 mana or something like that? And that made it bad, so... Or not Core Hound, but Core Rager. So this is right in between, so it's probably not that strong for empty hand decks. And the condition is, I think, quite enticing for both playstyles. The empty hand and the full hand version. Deal so much damage to a random minion. If it's friendly, draw 2 cards. I'm gonna give this a 2-star. Just doesn't feel very warrior-y. I don't really know. I get the point is that you get compensated if it hits a friendly minion, but you probably don't want it to hit a friendly minion anyway. You're probably playing it so that you can gain the board. So you probably don't even have any friendly minions, so I don't know. For balance, I'm going to give it 1 because I think the concept is too polarized. And the flavor gets 1. Okay, Teeny Ravisher. I'm going to give 4 stars. I think it's a cool synergy effect, and you can pair it with stuff like Abomination for some cool effects. Giving minions lifesteal is like becoming a lot more common, so it used to be really dangerous at first because there was like an Alkanai Shadow Boxer combo, but it's pretty standard now. Rising Rockstar. At the end of your turn, summon 1 random 1-cost minion and turn both up by 1. So I think this card gets a 3 for flavor, or at least a 2. I'm going to give it a 3, but the turn up by 1 is a cool flavor wording that makes sense. And he's like getting these followers basically rising in the charts, so I think it's cool. For balance, I think it gets an 8. I think it's balanceable. It's certainly one of those like never going to be playable cards because your opponent just has to let it live for so long for it to be good. And for design, I think Blizzard likes summoning random minions, adding random minions to hands. It's like usually pretty balanced, so I think this gets a 4-star. Crumbling Colossus. Destroy your leftmost and rightmost minions. So this would destroy itself, which immediately puts it to like a 3 maximum. It's a very useless card by itself. Usually these like big neutral minions that have these big drawbacks, with the exception of Bittertide Hydra, but stuff like Ancient Watcher, or not Ancient Watcher, the 4-mana 7/7. Like, they never see play. They're always just way too bad. I think it's flavorful. I think it gets a 2 for flavor, but I think it's a 2 for balance. I think it's balanceable, like such that it'll maybe see play, but like I just don't think it's that fun to play. Okay, Moving Castle. Someone said they liked the flavor on this card, but I think I'll end up just giving it a 1. For design, I'll give it a 3. It's really vague if house means like eat it, like destroy it, or does it get resummoned when it dies? So it's very vague. I think the idea was that it doesn't destroy the minion, it just houses it, so it's gone, and then it doesn't get resummoned when it dies. The card like wants to be a deck building card, but it's so unreliable. You have to play the minion, house it, and then hero power. And it also sounds kind of like your hero power makes this a like permanent. It makes it a permanent like an augment. But I intended for the your hero power also summons copies of it to only be while this thing is alive. So this actually gets a 2-star design. I think it's really hard to balance, and I don't think the flavor is that good. Experience gain. Shuffle a minion into its owner's deck with +5/+5. So balance gets a 1 because you never want to use this on friendly minions. Design gets a 3, a 2. It doesn't feel that paladin-y. And the flavor gets a 2 because I think it's kind of cute flavor. But it's not that fun of a card to play. Paladin shouldn't get this style of hard removal, in my opinion. Okay, what is going on? Oh my gosh. Okay, Fen Summon. So this is the card I was talking about on stream 2 days ago. We made an exact version of this card. It was 0 mana. It was 1 mana and summon to 1/1 Murloc and add 1 to your hand. I actually really like the coupling of effects. You get like immediate value plus get 1 in your hand. I'm gonna give this one 3 stars. I didn't like this card when I made it, but Elemental Shaman kind of needs some help, so. And it's a spell, which is nice because Elemental Shaman has all the spell minion stuff, so it's pretty cool. Especially with Hag, I thought this card would be quite good. For balance, I think it gets a 3 stars because it's perfectly balanced. For flavor, it gets a 1 because it's just average. At this card's best, it's a 0 mana, 3/3, gain 2 mana, which is cool. And this gets a 4-star. The flavor gets a 1 though. And balance is, I think it's actually gets a 3. I think it's really balanced as is. So the only thing I would change about this card is the flavor. The name just doesn't even make sense. Actually, I might give this card a 0-star for flavor because it just like, it really just doesn't do anything for me. What do I press? Okay, there we go. Okay, cool. Okay, that's probably enough for today. I'm very tired. I think we made some cool cards today, and are chipping away at the reviews. We're about a third of the way done with reviews, so it shouldn't take too long to catch up. We'll probably catch up just as we're finishing the 300 cards. So yeah, thanks for anyone who watched today. Should be back tomorrow with more cards.